Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Pundits. My name is Andy, and I'm joined by Aidan and Sean, as always, to pretend to know about football. Guys, how are we doing?
Very well, mate. Very well. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing all right, mate. Away from football, I've had a nice day today. Had the fam around to celebrate my old man getting another year older. Absolutely full of food and beer while the football was on. Having a little sup of Budweiser while Sean's team played West Ham. It didn't have to ease any pain for me. Sean, how was it today, mate? How was the game?
Football sucks, mate.
Yeah, football is horrible. Ben Ray, welcome in, dude. Yeah. Ben Ray coming straight out with the come on you irons. Yes, we'll get to that very shortly. This week we've got a few things to talk about. As always, we'll be covering the Premier League review of the weekend. We'll have a quick look back to the midweek games as well. We're going to talk about, of course, the elephant in the room when it comes to Arsenal, the title race. A couple of subjects as well. One that popped up that was quite prevalent this week was gambling shirt sponsors. So just going to gauge a bit of opinion on that just to see what people have to say. The news was announced that shirt sponsors from gambling companies are to be banned from the 26-27 season. And then we'll have a little discussion about other things that are coming up on the channel as well. So,
lovely.
Let's get into it then. Premier League review. Aidan, I think there's no better place to start than with the early kickoff. Talk to us about it, mate.
Fucking honestly, I think that has to be, for me, the best performance I've ever seen from a Villa team in my life. No joke. Like, I was there at the game and it was just like we dominated from start to finish. Newcastle could barely string a pass together. They just looked sloppy and we just took every opportunity. We didn't waste anything. We had a goal ruled out. Ollie Watkins is just unbelievably in form. Like, it's just mental. Alex Moreno, like, I was a bit unsure about him after the first game, and he's come in and he looks like one of the most exciting left backs I've seen at Villa. Like, I'm just buzzing. Like, it's mental. It's mental to see from where we started at the start of this season. I would never ever say that we'd be 3 points away from fifth.
No,
it's bizarre, and it was just an all-round dominant performance, and against a really strong Newcastle side. Like, a really strong Newcastle side. So, yeah, I'm happy. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just, I'm still not over it yet, but go on to next week. And, yeah, massive 3 points for Villa. Much needed 3 points. Obviously, people are saying, can we get Champions League? I'm going to say we probably won't. But I'm going to say it is a possibility. Because it is. It is a possibility, but I can't see it happening personally.
Mathematically, fifth, yes, but...
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I reckon we can get fifth. I think we could easily take Tottenham, personally.
Yeah, I think Tottenham doing Tottenham as always. You know, they are bottling, they're falling off. But I think European football is an absolute possibility for sure.
Yeah, any form of European football, mate, and I'll be more than happy. I mean, to be honest, mate, start of the season I'd have taken top 10. I'd have taken surviving relegation. Jesus Christ! But now, with like the players are sat there. I saw the interview after the game where Ramsey and Watkins got interviewed, and they asked a question to them boys and was like, "Is European a possibility?" And they both kind of like looked at each other and was unsure whether to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And Ramsey went, "Yeah, it is. Like, it is. Like, we didn't think we'd be asked these questions or saying, yeah, it's a possibility, but now the right managers come in." Team spirit is high. We're all so confident in our abilities, and yeah, why can't it happen? Why can't we get European football this season? And after a performance like that, mate, there is no one I fear playing if we're playing like that.
Yeah,
no one I fear playing. I reckon we could take on anyone.
I think that's pretty reasonable. There's two ways you can go about answering them questions as a player, and that's the option I always like. The other option, like you say, Jacob Ramsey can come out and go, "What? You know what, actually, yeah, we can do it. Why not? You know, you're G'd up, you're in great form." But then there's the other approach saying, "Oh, I don't know, it's too early to talk about it, a bit reserved." No, I think you're right. I think you've got to back yourself. It is possible, and you've got to believe it, because if you don't believe it, that's already half the battle lost, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice to see that we've actually got the players who actually have the confidence in themselves now to go, yeah, we're going to push on and we're going to fight for this European spot. Whether it's 5th, whether it's 6th, we're going to go for it. If we get top 4, fucking hell, that'd be mental. Obviously, I can't see it happening myself, but these boys are actually willing to fucking, like, I don't know if you watched the game or saw the highlights from the game, but Tyrone Mings, oh my God, people slag him off endlessly. He threw himself in front of everything that game. The amount of block shots, like, he was throwing himself in front of the ball. Like, people are putting their bodies on the line. It's bizarre because they're actually fighting for the badge, which is nice to see because we've had players in the past who didn't give a shit, and now we have. And it's fucking unreal. It's like such a good time to be a Villa fan. That atmosphere at that stadium was fucking rocking, and I can't stop smiling.
No,
It's a good time.
Of all the players you pick out and you pick Tyrone Mings, I thought Ollie Watkins was magnificent.
Ollie Watkins was magnificent, but that's what I mean. But that's the problem. Ollie Watkins, he scored 2 goals. He had 1 ruled out. He got the assist for the other one. But defensively, you look at Tyrone Mings. You look at his. If you could find his highlights individually from that game, I think he must have thrown himself in front of 4, 5, 6 shots, literally diving head first in front of the ball. The amount of crucial blocks that he made was unreal. Like, I just think, like, people will sit there and they will slag Tyrone Mings off, but you look at that game, mate, and you can't after that game. Like, he is solid. There's a reason we're 6 games, however many games unbeaten now.
it's like you mentioned before, defending performances can sometimes go under the radar. I feel like it's a bit different actually when you're at a game. And I'll still swear down to this day, I went to a game where Phil Jones was the best player on the pitch. So it's absolutely unbelievable what watching a defender can actually do and how it can change your opinion. So I do totally believe that. And it is just as important to keep goals out of one end as it is to score them in the other. I think Ollie Watkins has been given the credit he deserves. One of the most informed strikers, I'd say the most informed striker behind Haaland, would it be fair to say?
Yeah.
It's a fantastic place to be in, I'm sure, as a Villa fan. I mean, up and down form when Emery came in, straight out of the bat by beating United and then losing to United and then winning a game, and then it was a bit up and down. I think you had a run of 3 games where you lost, but that was like Man City,
Leicester and Tottenham.
Yeah, so, you know, and from going to that, well, we'll see the Premier League form when we go into it. But yeah, there's only 2 current teams in the Prem that have won their last 5 Prem games, and one of them's Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So,
and Gareth Southgate was there watching the game. So if he fucking even thinks about not picking Watkins soon, I'm going to fucking tweet him. I will message him on whatever I can. I will find out his number and I will fucking give him hell. I swear to God.
There's no way he can't pick Watkins now, surely. There's no way.
Like, what else can you do, honestly?
Yeah. We've had our say on Southgate. We'll just have to see when push comes to shove. Is it June, the next games?
I'm not sure.
Oh, fuck's sake. Plenty of time for him to forget about Watkins' performances then.
Well, this is what I mean. If it's in 2 months' time, he seems to forget, like, even though he says he goes on form, which we know is now a myth, he still picks players that have had a good bit, but then they've started to fall off. Like, Foden isn't, not fallen off in a massive way, but he wasn't as on form as other players in that sort of position.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think you can miss out Ollie Watkins. Paulina, I wasn't dreaming. Phil Jones was absolutely the best on that day. I saw breaking news earlier that he travelled to Nottingham Forest. Not sure what he was doing. He probably went and stopped off at Hooters or something for a beer and some boneless wings.
I'm not blaming.
Yeah. We'll get into the next game of the 3 of our supporters. The early kickoff for Sunday today, Sean. Yeah, talk to us about it, mate. Give us the roller coaster ride that's being an Arsenal fan at the moment.
So, go 1-0 up, then 2-0 up, and host. We took our foot off the accelerator. We didn't really want to give them any opportunity on the ball. The problem I really have with with Arsenal at the moment is we've got too many players that don't fit our current system, and that's Rob Holding. And I know that I'll get a bit of gypped from this, but Kieran Tierney doesn't fit our system. He can't play with the ball at his feet as well as he's like a more traditional left back, traditional wing back. And I don't think he's very comfortable with the ball at his feet.
Mm-hmm.
So when the opportunities come where you have to play beyond the lines, Rob Holding just spanks the ball as hard as he can, and Kieran Tierney gives a bit of give and go, but he doesn't like take a player on himself and play his way out of danger. So we really miss Zinchenko today, and we've missed Saliba now for 3 or 4 weeks. I think the plan is to get Saliba ready for Man City, but it's painful at the moment to throw those throw a 2-0 lead away. A lot of Arsenal fans saying that we should have that the first goal that they scored should have been ruled out for offside for Declan Rice. It just kind of hit the underside of his arm.
Handball, you mean? Yeah.
That. Sorry, yeah, handball.
Yeah. To be honest, I did think that at the time, but I don't. It's a similar one to Bruno the other night in the Europa League, and maybe even the one with Holding, where you don't know about that hitting your hand, do you?
Absolutely.
I think
no.
The argument I don't like in them situations is people say, I've seen them given. It's like, yes, you have seen them given. Doesn't mean it should be given, right?
Yeah.
I think Saka, penalty miss. Do you see anything into that? I mean, Saka's got a great form for penalties. Is that the first one he's missed since the Euros?
Yeah, absolutely. Gabriel Jesus had the ball to begin with. Fabianski was giving him a bit of mind games, and just before the penalty was taken, he handed it over to Saka. He's put the ball down, and I was just cooking a roast dinner at the time, and I've kind of poked my head round the door, and I'm like, I fucking missed this. And I was like, ugh, absolutely dreadful. 12 yards out, you got to hit it on target, haven't you?
Unless your name's Mohamed Salah, yeah.
Yeah, but it was just dreadful. From there on, we just invited pressure, considering it was a training ground kind of style of play. Just before that, we were in complete control, and if we could have gone for it. We could have scored 4 or 5 even. But yeah, just took our foot off it. Mikel Antonio today was phenomenal, just pressing that back line. Big Dick Mick just destroyed us. So yeah, and at the end of it, I'll tell you, we were lucky to come away with a point. I thought there was moments where I thought, shit, West Ham are going to beat us.
He was getting after your defence today. I saw that, especially down that left hand side. He wasn't scared of taking people on, was he?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we'll talk a little bit about the title race shortly. But yeah, we was messaging in the Discord today, which, by the way, if you haven't joined yet, check out the description to join the Discord. We pretty much have a running commentary throughout the days of football that's going on. So get the link there and sign up if you haven't. We spoke about Arsenal being in complete control. West Ham players were stuck in the mud. They weren't moving. I said it could be a cricket score. And it probably should have been. I think there seems to be a lot of panic at the moment around Arsenal, from my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to take away the context of the game and focus on the results and the points you're picking up. I think it's fair to say that you'd have taken a draw at Anfield.
I would have done, yeah.
But it's the fact that obviously Man City are not dropping points. You wouldn't expect to be losing to West Ham, but these results are going to happen. Teams that are fighting relegation, they're not going to be easy. But yeah, is there anything else you can take away from that game? There's a few players that you don't want to see playing again. Are you missing anyone desperately?
Desperately missing Saliba, somebody that can take the ball out, take a man on, pass the ball. Other than that, I thought Jesus was fantastic. He was all over the pitch. Don't really like him doing that, but I think he was doing that because of the fragilities of maybe Rob Holding. So he had to create some link-up play opportunities.
Yeah. What happened with Zinchenko, by the way? I did see that he got ruled out. Was he out from the start, or was it in training, or what happened there?
It was the end of the Liverpool game. He's got a groin strain that he thought he might be able to shift before this game, but he hasn't.
Right. Yeah. Would you say he was a big miss? Would him being featured have changed the result, do you think?
Possibly. I think he certainly fits into the style of play a lot better. But I think the issue more today was we took our foot off the accelerator and we allowed them to play their game.
Mhm.
And I think, I mean, we could have been 2-0 up with Zinchenko in the team. He's not as defensively astute as Tierney, but yeah, maybe his experience would have helped us.
Sure.
I think it's just Saliba. I think we're just one player short of having a solid team that can cope.
Okay.
Is what it is.
It is what it is, mate. Onwards and upwards, though. Hopefully, for your sake. I mean, you know, I don't ever want to see a friend suffer, but there's certain Arsenal fans on TikTok that I would absolutely love to see suffer. Other than that, yeah, I haven't got much to bring you boys about the United game. I have to say, I was sort of half watching it, half speaking with the fam and having a few drinks and food and stuff, but it looked very much just looked like a business as usual kind of game. Dallo, funnily enough, that was his first ever Premier League goal, which was amazing. Preferred to Malacia. Obviously, Shaw still not fit enough to play. Dallo had a phenomenal game, I think, at left back.
Yeah.
I think that really adds to his appeal because you've got him and Wan-Bissaka fighting for the first spot. I think if for any reason Shaw is out, then you know he can step in. You know, I think it's just a good string to his bow. Anthony got the goal a bit lucky. He was just in the right place at the right time, I think. He did have quite a good game today, though, it has to be said.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any really bad performers on the pitch today at all from anyone. I think Eriksen had to come in last minute, so Bitzer was due to play, but he got injured in the warm-up, which is frightening considering the amount of injuries that we've had. De Gea has gone equal on... De Gea was equal on clean sheets. He's now the most highest clean sheet record in the Prem. I can't even get my words straight today. 14, Nick Pope on 13, Ramsdale on 12. He pulled up after about 10 minutes with a bit of a strain. I was a bit worried then, but yeah, we've got Martinez out for the season, Varane out for a few weeks, Sabitzer out for an unknown amount of time. Maguire was very good today. I do have to give him credit where it's due. He's suspended for the FA Cup next week. Fernandes is out against Sevilla because of suspension. It's all going tits up at the wrong time, so it was nice to just get the job done away from home and just focus on the Europa League and FA Cup in the coming week.
Ever since your bald manager, bobbly-headed manager, said to us that Arsenal have got no injuries, what's happened? We're just absolutely capitulating with injuries currently.
Yeah.
So,
well,
fuck you, Ten Hag.
Someone at Arsenal has played the Uno reverse card because we've just been absolutely battered. I'm just hoping that Shaw doesn't stay out for too much longer and Rashford's not out for too much longer. But yeah, two big games coming up. Obviously, midweek, I don't want to talk about that. There's nothing more I can say. It was an absolute bottle. That was even worse than a Spurs in midweek. Obviously, the second goal could have been prevented. Unfortunately, we'd used all of our subs, so we was 10 men on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the first goal was preventable. Malacia had dropped an absolute stinker, and I thought it's very unlike Ten Hag if a player has a singular bad game for them to get dropped. But Malacia wasn't even on the bench today. Like, he was doing a lot of bad. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what's happened to him, where he's gone, but yeah, hopefully the lad can come back at some point. But yeah, he needs to improve. I think we need to start seeing the better out of Malacia.
I did take a lot of enjoyment out of that Harry Maguire own goal, seeing it ball smack against his face and go in.
Mate,
I love that.
Yeah, I was sat watching the game with my wife, and I was obviously distraught, and she was just holding back laughter. She is a follower of Man United, if you like, as well. But yeah, she just burst out laughing, and I had to have a giggle myself because it was so unfortunate. It was such a weird goal, and there was nothing he could have done. But it's always him. Why is it always Maguire? Yeah. It's like Balotelli.
You could literally see it on his face.
Yeah, it's like Phil Jones with his like weird face expressions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same as like Harry Maguire and his mistakes. It's like you just watch the game and wait for it, and it's gonna happen.
But Maguire, it looks like he's just been programmed in a lab somewhere. Like, He
Yeah.
doesn't look like a human. It's so weird to see, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was our team's roundup this week. Then plenty to take away from that. Looking ahead to next week, then obviously we play in the FA Cup next week against Brighton, which I am terrified for. I have to say, I'm terrified for that game. Brighton going away to Chelsea. I know it's Chelsea, and banter aside, but that it doesn't matter who they played. Brighton within themselves, if they win their games in hand, they're fifth. They are a good team.
Yeah. Atoma was phenomenal again.
Oh yeah.
Top player.
I can't believe they were robbed of points. They could be doing a lot better. Obviously, it is what it is, and we move on. But they're going to be storming it out the rest of the season. Adam Wilcox, welcome in, dude. He says Harry Maguire with a love heart. Yeah, love for Harry Maguire. He did a solid for us today, I have to say.
Yeah.
Cool.
Adam's a really big Sevilla fan.
Yeah. Brighton look fire. Yeah, just what I was saying, Wilco. Honestly, I am absolutely terrified for that game next week. I think it could be an amazing week to be a United fan, but we could be sitting here on Sunday and I could be in immense pain. They're very real possibilities. Yeah. Southampton looking ever likely for the drop, losing 2-0 to 100% Hodgson at home. They're the games you don't want to be losing.
Yeah.
They're where you want to be picking up points against your Palaces, your Everton, your Leicesters. You want to be accepting a defeat to Arsenal, Man City, United. You don't want to be accepting a defeat to them at home, especially. Wolves 2-0 at Brentford. Wolves probably fighting their way out nicely out of the relegation battle now. Brentford losing that European spot potentially in that game.
Yeah.
Everton losing at home to Fulham. Fulham ending their absolute meltdown that they've had with a win at Everton. Tottenham. Sean, take this away, mate.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can go to town on
now,
this.
you actually predicted on TikTok a loss.
I did.
But that was bias. But did you actually believe that could have been the result?
Oh, absolutely. Bournemouth were incredible against us, and Spurs would. I thought if they can do that to us, I'd love to see them do it to Spurs and actually get some points out of it. Seeing Richarlison get another goal ruled off for offside.
Yeah.
Just inject it into my veins.
Yeah, Gary O'Neill has rightly been getting praised for what he's doing with Bournemouth and getting them out of the relegation zone, and actually comfortably as well. Let's bring up the Prem table while we're on the subject. Scott Parker was sacked, wasn't he, because he went on a sort of a rant against the owners, saying that he doesn't have the resources that he needs at Bournemouth, and I found it hard to disagree because Bournemouth, small stadium, small team, not really any notable players apart from their goalkeeper on loan from Barcelona, but Gary O'Neill's come in with no extra resources and he's got them playing good football. They're now sitting 14th on 33 points, 7 points away from the golden 40 points with 7 games to go. Mm-hmm. Let's have a quick look if I can quickly pull up their fixtures. Home to West Ham, away to Southampton, home to Leeds, home to Chelsea, away to Palace, home to United and away to Everton. I don't see any reason why they can't go and take 7 points from them games.
We'll get all of those points apart from maybe Man United.
Yeah, even, they've beaten Man United on occasions before, so I don't see why not either. But yeah, as discussed, Aidan, there you go. Look, if you look at the form, Man City, 5 wins out of the last 5. Aston Villa, 5 wins out of the last 5. Unbelievable, mate. I remember not so many podcasts ago, you were saying, if we win today, we go level on points with Chelsea. And now you've played the same amount of games and you're 11 points clear of them.
Fucking mental, innit?
It's
bizarre.
I mean, you've got Brighton who have got games in hand. You've got Liverpool who have got games in hand, but they can only level you. They play tomorrow, of course, against Leeds. And I think, as Sean thinks as well, they'll struggle.
I think Leeds will win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard game, especially a Monday night football. The fans are going to be absolutely buzzing for it. I think there's a very good chance that Liverpool could just collapse. The same as what happens when teams go to Anfield. Teams can go to Elland Road, especially big teams, and just fold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not an easy place to go to, is it?
I think Liverpool are quite a vulnerable team to collapse as well.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in the table, then, Chelsea, as I said, you're now 11 points clear of Chelsea. Yet another loss for Frank Lampard, who's now lost 15 out of his last 17 games as a manager. What more can be said about him? We did have a little discussion in the midweek about Lampard. Now, obviously, Lampard's here to... He's just filling in an empty gap. They have to be planning for a big manager in the summer, right?
Yeah, they have to be. I think I said last week that anybody that comes in with like 10 games to go, they're going to be judged on those 10 games as well.
Yeah.
By the fans. So maybe just have a clean start at the end of the season. Last day of the season, we'd like to thank Frank for all of his hard work and 0 points. And then we're pleased to announce Luis Enrique or Nagelsmann or whoever it is that they sign.
Mm-hmm. So from the fans and club's perspective, that's fine, right? You've got someone in who's a club legend. He's going to see them over the line until the end of the season. But I'm looking at it, not that I have sympathy or an ode to him, but Frank Lampard, is he not just further ruining his reputation? Or do you think he genuinely thinks he can get something out of this group of players? Because Graham Potter, who you can argue is a better manager than Lampard quite easily, he wasn't able to get a tune out of these players. Frank Lampard can't get a tune out of these players. Does he walk away from this saying, well, look, I came into a mess, so it's not my fault? Or if he continues to lose game, are other clubs going to look at this guy and go, no, look at your record, not a chance?
I absolutely think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think every game that he's losing now, he's becoming a media bait for, look at Frank. It is I mean, there's something that I do with my mates. Every time I see this picture, even every time that he loses, somebody puts a fat filter on
Fat Frank.
But they put it on the previous week's picture, so he just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes our group chat picture every single week.
Yeah, we used to have one floating about of a fat Frank.
Yeah, so I think for me, he needs to go to a lower down division, even lower than the Championship, build his reputation away from the spotlight for a little while, become a bit of a project manager, and then come back when his kind of stock is high and his career is stabilised. I think it's at the moment, and managing Chelsea is not a good step for him right now.
I think that's fair. Have you got any more thoughts on that, Aidan, about Lampard? Do you think he needs to... Well, is his reputation being damaged, essentially?
I think his reputation's being hammered, mate, to be honest. Like, I don't understand why he's come back in. He's seen the club's in a dire state, and he didn't leave in the best form anyway. So I don't see why he's come back in to then butcher his reputation even more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just needs to take a step away from management, and like Sean says, go lower down. Go lower down, learn to be a manager, learn the tactics, learn everything. It's all right saying, yes, I'm a footballer, I know football, I know tactics. But the game's changing every fucking day. Like, so much is changing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go down, learn the basics of managing, and then come up. And then maybe, like Sean says, get a big job. But he's gone guns blazing. He's been given the Chelsea job purely because he's a Chelsea legend. It didn't work for him. He got the Everton job. He butchered that. He's gone back to Chelsea. He's lost 2 games. Just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. Let someone else do the job. Get them a permanent manager in. You go down. Take a break if you have to, and just do something else because it's not going to work for him. And eventually, it's going to come to the point where they're going to go, you know what? No one wants him as a manager because his win record will be that bad.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, why would we hire? What? Because you're Frank Lampard. This ain't Chelsea.
Yeah.
This is Halifax, mate. You're still not going to get a job here. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get that completely.
It's absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, Cam Archer, welcome in. Coming from the TikTok live. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated to you. Yeah, about his reputation, he might be doing damage to his reputation, but I think that was already butchered from his time at Chelsea and Everton. So I think just being the right man in the right place at the right time has helped him to get this job. He's got a free holiday to Madrid. You know, I think he would have done himself tremendous favours. He didn't have anything to lose by taking this job, I don't think. You know, if he could get a result against Real Madrid, then that automatically puts him back up there again, doesn't it? But can't see it happening. The last game that we didn't discuss, Man City Leicester, business as usual. I thought that would be a bit more after the 3-0, but 3-1, burying Leicester still down there. 4 losses in a row now for Leicester. Yeah,
it worries me that they took Haaland off after the first half. They're just keeping him fit, and it's like, can you please drill this guy into the ground? Can you please hurt him?
Yeah, I mean, I was somewhat pleased. Obviously, they've got a big game coming up midweek against Bayern Munich. But I was pleased they took him off because I went to check my fantasy team and I saw, who did I put as captain this week? I forgot. And of course, like a bellend, I put Harry Kane as my captain and Erling Haaland as my vice. And he scored 2. And I was like, fuck's sake, please, can you not do any more than this now, please? For the love of God. And they took him off. And I was like, thank you. I won't make that mistake again, Fantasy Premier League lords. But yeah, Cam Archer says City to win the league. That's a great segue for us to get into the next segment. That's exactly what we're going to talk about now. And that is the title race. So, yeah, there is now only, is it 4 points? But City have got a game in hand?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Aidan, I'll, as the neutral, well, one of the neutrals, give us your thought on the title race, mate. Do you think, right, let's do it this way. Where was you in the title race 2 weeks ago, and where do you sit now?
2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I thought it was Arsenal's. The whole season, I thought it was Arsenal's. And I've said this whole time, surely Arsenal aren't going to bottle it. They can't bottle it. This is their one and only chance. It's a massive chance. 1 point, 12 points clear, then 8 points clear. And you start thinking, they're dipping, but they've still got enough about them. But now, I'm sat here worried for Arsenal fans because 4 points ahead, Man City are flying with a game in hand. That only puts 1 point. And it just seems... It feels as though the pressure is getting to them. Obviously, you've had the injuries with like Zinchenko, Saliba. They're not ideal. They're big losses, like you say. You've had Jesus out for 4 months. Obviously, he's come back. He's flying. But I don't know. I've just got this horrible gut feeling. And I don't want Arsenal to bottle it because I really want Arsenal to win it. But I really feel like they're going to fuck it up. And I do not want them to. Personally, I don't want City to win it again. But I think they're going to.
Yeah.
I don't want Arsenal just on this shit little fucking run. And it's typical Arsenal from years ago where you just see them bottling. It's almost as if it's come back out right where it matters. And now it's happening all over again at their fucking biggest stage ever in years where they could possibly win the league.
Credit to Sean. He sat there. I was watching him throughout that and he took that right on the chin. Cam Archer.
I felt bad saying it. I did.
Cam Archer, Ryan lets us keep Archer and Ramsey. Ryan Thwaites, welcome in. He says, up the Villa, we are bloody flying. Yeah, you're not wrong there, mate. You're not wrong there. Look at that big old smile that Aidan's got. You love to see it.
Oh, boys.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I think a couple of weeks ago, I really started to believe that Arsenal can't let this slip now. A few weeks ago, people were going mental because Gary Neville was insistent that Man City could win this league. And he was doing panel shows, he was doing the overlap, and he was saying, I think Man City are going to win this league. And people were calling him mental. But it's absolutely possible now. It makes that Arsenal-Man City game even more as important. Like, even more important than it was before, right?
Yeah.
I honestly think the Champions League for Man City has played a huge part in this. That 3-0 against Bayern Munich must have filled them with some supreme confidence.
Oh, massive.
And I think Arsenal know that as well. I think, the Liverpool one I think you can handle because a draw at Anfield isn't a bad result. but it's only not a bad result if you then go to West Ham and beat them, as you well should. Sean, give me your thoughts. The same as I asked Aidan. Where was you on it 2 weeks ago, and where do you sit now?
2 weeks ago, I was getting excited. I was flirting with the possibility of saying that we were going to win the league, but we can't. I don't. We're certainly not the favourites. We've not been the favourites for a very long time. Nobody thought that we would get top 4 football at the beginning of the season, but when you're that, I think we were 11 or 12 points clear at one point. City had maybe a couple of games in hand, and then they played us. It's difficult to overlook the fact that we should be winning the league in that position. City have got an easier run in than us. I think we've still got some tough teams to play. We've got to play them. We've got to play Newcastle, Chelsea.
Yeah.
A couple of others. I can't remember who else we got. Yeah, it feels like it's slipping. Just need these big players to come back and just see it out for the rest of the season. 4 points clear with they've got a game in hand. If we beat them, then it's a completely different game, and then I think that we're on for it. But we just got to get past that hurdle first. Yeah,
absolutely, mate. I think we both agreed when we posted up on TikTok. We had a look at the run-in and who we think was going to win what games, and it was for sure Arsenal have got the more difficult run-in. However, Man City do have more competitions to compete in. They've also got a semi-final in the FA Cup next weekend. I know it's Sheffield United, but it's travel to Wembley. It's the day out. It's the occasion. It's Real Madrid potentially in the next round of the Champions League. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be close. I can't even call it at this stage. I'd say, like I said 2 weeks ago, I thought Arsenal should win it, and they might not lose it, but they could. But here's the thing for me: Arsenal fans, especially on TikTok, they're just mental, and they were counting this league already. They were, it wouldn't surprise me if some of them out there have got Premier League champions 22, 23 tattooed on their asses somewhere. But yeah, Man City, even Liverpool, we were talking about capable of stringing results together, especially when, as our good friend Cam mentioned, they battered us 7-0. We know what Liverpool are capable of.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did they batter 7-0?
United, mate. Yeah. United.
Yeah, I love that.
Sean's taking jabs on his way down to second. He's like, "I'm right. I'm going down swinging."
I'm bringing everyone down with me.
Becky, welcome in. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone who's in the comments, let us know what you think about the title race. As I say on our Discord, we're going to be keeping a running commentary going throughout the season. So if you want to come and mock Sean when Arsenal bottle it, join over. Link is in the description. I'm a Man United fan, so you'll have your chance to rip me as well. And we're going to try and doing some community stuff in there at some point as well. Maybe some TikToks with community members if you want to get involved. Play some games with us, pick squads for certain YouTube videos we do. Head over there. Everything will be posted centrally in there. Yeah, that's about it for the Premier League this week then, boys. Unless there's anything obvious I missed. No? I think there was a bit of news about old Gylfi Sigurdsson from Prison FC. He's been cleared of all charges.
What?
Allegedly, Gylfi Sigurdsson, isn't it?
Allegedly. Allegedly, Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Yeah. Fucking, he's a nonce. Come on, let's just fucking put it out there.
I think there was... From what I heard, again, this is all allegedly before we get into it, just in case, I don't know, someone wants to sue a YouTube channel with 130 subscribers. It was something to do with him texting, was it a 15-year-old prostitute?
I heard it was a lad that he met, but I could be wrong.
So it was like the pimp that sort of grassed him up. I don't know. I'll have to have a look into it, but that's what I heard. But apparently he's been cleared of all charges, so be interesting to see whether or not he comes back into the fold. Paulina still believes in Arsenal.
By Everton, isn't he?
Say that again.
He's still contracted by Everton, isn't he?
I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah, I believe so. They mentioned, at the time it came out, they kept mentioning it was an unnamed player. from Everton, but he was the only one missing from the pre-season lineup, wasn't it? Skills, welcome in. Sorry I'm late, had some things to sort out. Hey, no worries, Skills. I'm glad you could make it here now. We've just finished discussing the Prem and the title race. The next thing we're going to talk about is a little bit of news that popped up this week about gambling shirt sponsors. So everyone's got an opinion, and I welcome everyone to put your opinion in the chat about this because it's an interesting one. It's something that's been spoke about for a long time. They are set to be banned from the front of shirts from the 26-27 season, and currently they make up 8 of the 20 Premier League teams' main shirt sponsors. I don't think it's all commercial ties cut. I think it's just front of shirt sponsors. So they may still be able to have sponsorships in their match programs or on websites or elsewhere, but I think this is literally just shirt sponsors. Aidan, do you have any thoughts on this as a category? I mean, it's on the front of Villa shirts now, isn't it?
No, we've got Kazoo.
Yeah. So before it
Kazoo
wasn't
car
it?
Insurance. Yeah, so
W88, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. We've had quite a few, I think. I don't really see the big issue with it. It's a sponsor, it's a company. Like, Is it because, are they saying this because it's promoting gambling?
I think there's a number of reasons. I think you've got the fact that, you know, if we take a look at the one that's pictured here, we've got Declan Rice wearing the West Ham shirt, Betway. Now, kids obviously look up to these players as role models. Mummy, can I get a West Ham shirt? And you've got, you know, a 6-year-old running around with a shirt with a gambling company on it, which is for over 18s only. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but this is just what people like. This is how people perceive it.
That's what this is. This is pure. This is snowflake generation. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's a snowflake generation. Oh, my son's got a fucking betting company on there. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what. Because he's wearing a West Ham shirt, that means he can nip to the bookies and stick a fucking 16-fold acca on with a tenner. Does it?
Yeah.
Grow up. It's a fucking betting company on a fucking shirt. Get a grip, move on, and fucking do one. It is a company. That is it.
Okay.
That's my input.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I don't think there's any right or wrong opinion on this. The only thing I can do is compare it to was it when the Europa League was first kicking off? Liverpool had to alter their shirts from Carlsberg sponsors to plain ones because there were some parts where you weren't allowed to promote alcohol. Surely this is in that sort of vein, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think that I'm the complete opposite of Aiden. I actually think that shirt sponsors shouldn't be allowed on kits. There's a lot of people that are, I think,
gambling
addiction,
sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people that are addicted to things, I think it's like a neurological thing, and I don't think you can pick and choose whether you're going to be addicted to something.
Mm-hmm.
So having it kind of rammed down your throat is perhaps like, it's like smoking, isn't it? If you want to smoke all the time and whatnot, if you gamble and you're gambling all the time, people lose everything to gambling. And having that as a constant reminder must be very bloody difficult for somebody who's got a gambling problem to see that. I think just the first thing that they should do is take it away from the adverts, and then I mean, and I love Paddy Power's adverts. Don't get me wrong; those ones are brilliant and really funny. But I think if you are somebody that suffers with gambling issues, seeing those gambling adverts and seeing them on the shirts is a constant reminder of something that you don't want to do, or has potentially ruined your lives and families and whatnot. So, yeah.
I get the whole thing with the addiction thing, but then for me, it's just like alcohol addiction. Like, it's a horrible thing. Yes, it fucks people's lives and shit.
Yeah.
But then, so what? These people who have got the addiction walk past the pub. Must every pub now close their windows and not be allowed to see alcohol inside because that person can't look at a beer?
That's it.
Cigarettes and stuff like that. Like, we can't just fucking hide the world away from these certain people. These certain people, obviously it's hard, but that's their life. Everyone else can't just stop for one person. It is what it is. Like, it's shit. It is shit because people suffer, but the rest of us shouldn't suffer because one person has a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, we can support and do what we can, but there's no chance I'm going to fucking sit and not smoke in public because someone's got an addiction walking past me. If they go, put that fag out, I'm like, go take his face for a shit.
Yeah.
No, but it wouldn't impact you in any way if they took the shirt sponsors off there, would it?
No, but I get what you're saying. But
Yeah.
again, it's just the whole. We need to stop this hiding shit and fucking being so soft about everything. We've just got to tackle shit straight on.
I don't think you can get fast food things on shirts either now, can you? Was it alcohol and fast food that they took away? Was it 2009 or something? Because McDonald's and Pizza Hut used to...
McDonald's was England, wasn't it?
Yeah.
McDonald's used to be for England, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. So there was 2 points. Like Sean picked up on one of the things you said. Why should we have to suffer? When you say we, I think that's a little bit disingenuous to say because there's surely another sponsor, especially when it comes to Premier League teams. They can't be offering that much more than other shirt sponsors, can they?
Yeah,
they must be. Surely that's the only reason they're taking them, because taking the shirt sponsors from gambling companies comes with these questions. It's not like this is a new thing. This has been going on for years. And as Aidan says, where do you draw the line? You know, I think Sean makes a very, very good point. I swear to...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You watch a Man United game on Sky Sports, and I swear to God, you see fucking Ray Winston on Bet365 more than you see fucking Wout Weghorst in the box for United. It's a joke. Fucking bet in play now. Here's the score you can put next. It is shoved in your face on the telly, but I don't think the shirt sponsors... I'd say my only issue with the shirt sponsors is it's just I don't like seeing that on a kid. Like, when you know where the money's coming from, like Sean says, they're able to pay these Premier League giants lots of money based on people losing everything. And I think that's where my problem comes into it. I don't think it should be it's not like we're saying close the bookies, you know, but I think as long as they can take the sponsorship in another way that's not plastered in your face, I think there's no problem with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can almost fucking guarantee half these shirts are made from poor kids in fucking some Asian country anyway for fucking 3p an hour. So that's another way we look at it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many angles that there's going to be so many issues of it all. Yeah, there's all these different things that people can pick up on and kick off about, and obviously the betting sponsors. Then next, what? The shirts must be made in England by fucking Nike people paid £20 an hour.
Well, no, I don't think it's that. I think you seem to have an argument where you're more annoyed that people want to take it away than accepting that it's just easier to get rid of it. I think I don't know. I don't understand where. I don't understand why it's taken so long for them to come to this decision. It, like I say, it doesn't affect me either way, but I think that, I don't know, surely it's just an easy transition. Okay, yeah, that might not be great. There's other sponsors that can come in, jobs are good, and move on.
I want to see some really obscure brands in the Premier League on the shirts. Like, they can't get, I don't know, Bet365 on a shirt anymore, so they're going to go for little old Dixon's Opticians down on West Street.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, that's it. And Ben Ray has his say on this. He says, I think the shirt sponsorship isn't the issue. It's the ads on TV and online. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I couldn't even tell you the 8 teams that have got betting sponsors on, because some of them are so obscure and some of them are like even Chinese and stuff like that, aren't they? But I don't pay attention to who they are. But yeah, when it's the adverts on TV, at half time, I swear you must see 6 or 7 adverts about these betting companies. I think that can be reeled in.
Yeah.
But it's like you say, they need to focus on if people are adamant that they want to keep it, you know, there's support systems in place if people are addicted and all that sort of stuff. They can go and do that thing, but it's like Paul Merson is probably a good example. I'd like to see what he has to say about it. I didn't do a lot of research into it, to be honest. I just saw the news flash and I thought it would be an interesting thing to talk about. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that?
It's 20. When is it? 2022. Sorry, 2026, 27 season that they have to be removed from.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's.
I assume that's to let current contracts see their duration out, and then to seek a new sponsor.
That's fair enough. I remember the old Carling kits for Celtic and Rangers when they had their Carlsberg kit for Liverpool, like you said. So some of these kits will become iconic perhaps in a couple of years' time. But
Newcastle Brown Ale.
Yeah, Newcastle Brown Ale. Yeah, every time you see any of the supporters for Newcastle, you can always see they've got one of the old Newcastle Brown Ale shirts on, can't you?
Yeah. And I think, like Aidan says, it's not made a generation of alcoholics just because, they've seen a shirt and gone, I fancy a Newcastle Brown. But, yeah, I think it's just, I don't see a good argument to keep it than to just let it go. Like, yeah, I don't know. The people who will be more annoyed about this is people are making the good revenue from it.
See what Ben put in the chat there.
I want to see someone have the balls to get sponsored by the Hub.
I'd love it if Villa got sponsored by the Hub.
I think Chelsea should have it.
As a mascot.
It would have to be someone who gets fucked every week. So,
yes.
Come on.
Yeah,
come on. Right, guys, that's me done. See you later.
I like that. I enjoyed that one.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about was myself and Sean, we had a little discussion on this yesterday. I've seen a bit more news, rumours going around about it, what they're calling Premflix, which is essentially a new service that could be getting launched for Premier League games. I can't for the life of me understand why this isn't a thing already. You take the likes of, if you want to see all of the games possible, you need to have Amazon Prime, BT, Sky, and that will cost you somewhere between £60 and £100 a month. For me personally, I've got £5 a month for my BT. It's added onto my phone contract. Sky Sports, I think, is an extra 26 quid, and Amazon Prime we have already. But they said that if you had a subscription solely to the Premier League for £10 a month, they would already triple the money they make from TV revenue. So why is this not a thing? It's a thing in Canada, it's a thing in Australia, New Zealand, America, Saudi Arabia, China. Why have we not got it when the football is in our country? It's in our back garden. It's a no-brainer, right?
So the issues I said yesterday was the BT contract with the Premier League expires on a different year to the deal with Sky, which is a different year to the Amazon Prime deal. Mm-hmm. So to amalgamate all of those is the difficulties. But you've also
buy them out of it.
Well, yeah, you could buy them out of it as the Premier League.
If you're tripling your revenue, fuck it, just buy them out. Just say thanks for everything. See you, BT. We've got something new going on. See you later.
I genuinely think that Sky Sports being dropped off of the Sky package so that you can no longer get the Premier League would cripple them.
100%.
Sky would be on their arse trying to clamour for that, and they will bid big money. So I think the issue is that. But I mean, for me, if somebody was saying you can pay £30 a month and you can watch every single Premier League game, I'd pay £30 a month. Not just a tenner. I'd pay £30 a month.
I think I would,
because I pay. I think our Sky bill's gone up, but we've got kids and movies and whatnot. But it's like 120 quid. But I wouldn't need to have Sky at all if the football was on a different channel, because Sky's got the monopoly on it. I'd cancel it. The same with BT. I get so frustrated with BT Sports games. When I didn't have BT Sports, that I just paid for it, and I think that's 25 quid a month or something. It's too much. Fuck them.
Yeah, and
let's cripple them.
Yeah, the 3 o'clock games as well. It's this ancient rule that was put in place to protect attendances in lower league games. And I don't understand it. They can't show the games on TV because they want to protect attendances. But I'm sorry, that's just a stupid, outdated rule, because My local club down the road from me is Peterborough United, and they charge like 25 quid a ticket. Do they think if Man United's going to be on 3 o'clock and I'm going to watch it, that if that game wasn't on, I'm going to watch Peterborough United for 50 quid for 2 people? No, I'm not. Like, it's just not happening. It's so stupid. Just give us the access to the games.
Yeah.
You know, and then they want to crack down on these bloody illegal boxes. Give us the games.
Yep.
You give them to Canada and everywhere else. So give them to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree.
There's so much more they could do with that. I think the Premier League themselves, they are cooking up something, and I'd gladly get rid of all the services I've got now to have that.
Oh, same.
Where's your cut-off price? At what point do you go, oh, that's a bit steep, I wouldn't do that?
Well,
How much you paying for Sky? 120 quid.
Yeah.
so
Less than that.
yeah, a basic Sky package, I think if I removed Sky Sports and BT from my current add-ons, it would work out to be a saving of about £40 a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, somewhere up to £30, even up to £40, I'd be saving money, but then I'd be getting more games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember any Aluko during the COVID pandemic when they
Oh God,
football back.
What, the pay-per-view?
Was it £17 for Burnley versus Newcastle? And this was old shit, but Newcastle.
Yeah.
It was not Eddie Howe Newcastle. It was Rafa Benitez football.
That was a strange era. That felt like even a dream. Because they didn't do it for all the games, did they?
No, they didn't. And they took, I think if I remember rightly, Monday Night Football was the only game shown, and I think it was Newcastle, Manchester United. And they took that off of the schedule for Sky. So any Aluko was saying £17 a month is a bargain to get a Premier League football match. And then they're charging £17 to watch the dross of Newcastle versus Burnley. It is not a deal. Nobody wants to watch that unless you're a Burnley and Newcastle fan. And even at that point, both of the teams were going, I don't want to watch my teams. So it's it's ridiculous.
It's like you said, they can triple their revenue by charging £10 a month.
Yep.
You know, £20 a month, I think, is an absolute steal for every Premier League game available.
Yeah.
Even if you subscribe, let's say
in
you
4K,
subscribe to just to your team. Let's say you subscribe only to your team for £10, or you can do the whole league for 20 or 25 or 30. Even then, I'd still do it.
Yeah, I would. £30 a month to be able to watch any Prem game throughout the season. Yeah, you'd snap your hand. Yeah, of course you would.
I'd just check in to see how Newcastle versus. Oh no, Newcastle are good now. Everton versus Leeds. I just watch it.
They're not that good, but
yeah. Imagine that being the case now. It would be, what would it be? Southampton versus Leicester for £15 for the game. I'm so glad that was very quickly and rightly gone. Skills, like you say, get a Cody box. It's free. Yeah, that's what people are resorting to because they extort the football fans for money when they can just streamline it, monetize it themselves, and everyone's a winner.
Everyone's happy.
So yeah,
you pay Big Dave down the pub £100 a year to get a dodgy box or something.
Yeah, literally.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So that's about it for this week. Next bit says coming up, as you can see, Frank Lampard looking miserable. Apart from more pain for Frank Lampard coming up this week, obviously we've got the second legs of Europa League ties, Champions League ties. Can you see a miracle happening for Bayern Munich or for Chelsea?
No. Not a chance.
Not even Bayern Munich at home?
Nope. No, I think Man City are too strong.
Yeah, they've rested up Haaland at half-time just to make sure that the nail gets put in the coffin. I think it'll be a good game. I think if Bayern score first, I honestly think Bayern could have easily scored first midweek, couldn't they? Yep. That game was going either way for a bit, but as soon as the first goal went in, it sort of was all one-way traffic.
And then Upamecano, he just imploded, didn't he? He wanted to give him so many goals after that.
Yeah, I heard apparently. I obviously didn't see the game, but I heard he had an absolute mare.
Yeah.
Of a game,
it was the goal. The first goal really changed it.
Yeah.
And obviously, Man City did that good that they turned Sadio Mane violent. So that says a lot. That's like turning Kante violent. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I think allegedly it was. There's been some unrest in the dressing room for some time, but Sané turned around to him and said, "Where's the Mané we saw at Liverpool? Because we haven't got him," or words to that effect. And Mané just swung for him, and
he's
been suspended, hasn't he?
He's got big bus slip, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's emergency talks now about his future at the club going on.
Yeah.
Apparently, allegedly.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for them if he's on big money to sort of see him out of his contract because he's given them a reason to discipline him. So,
yeah,
hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that doesn't cause too much upset and unrest in the camp ahead of their game. I'd like to see Bayern turn up and knock City out. If not, they've got Real Madrid to compete with. Obviously, Sean, from a fatigue perspective, you'd like to see Man City go all the way.
Extra time penalties, yeah.
But
yeah, the lot.
I think what we're not talking about, and this is something that really, really scares me as a United fan, I don't give a fuck when City win the league. I really do not care. No one else cares. They've won 4 out of the last 5 years, and I'm not bothered. But there's a very real possibility that they're about to win a treble. What, do you give them any chance to win a treble, Sean? I think they're in an FA Cup final, really, aren't they? It's Sheffield United, so they're in a final.
Yeah. And they've got 1 foot in the door in the semis for the Champions League. Or are they playing the semis? No, it's
the quarters now.
Quarters at the moment. Yeah. They could win the triple. Treble, sorry.
Yeah. Aidan, do you rate their chances at all?
What, Man City?
Man City for the treble.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I think they could do it. I really do. I think this could be the year. I think they have to at least make the final of the Champions League with the money they've spent, especially now when they've got the greatest striker in the world currently. Like they have to make the finals at least. And obviously Sheffield United, I think they're just going to give them a good fucking hiding. But
yeah,
I think they've got a very good chance. I think.
Shit, I forgot about that. Come on, Arsenal, please don't bottle this fucking league.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so I think there's a good chance. I think there's a very good chance that they could do it.
Yeah. Ben says that, I hate to say, but given United's away form, he can't see him beating Seville away. Yeah, my position on it, I was very, very spoiled throughout that game. I predicted that we'd create a lot of chances, put the game to bed, maybe 3 or 4-0. Seville had terrible away form, but it was just such a smash and grab at the end of the game. I think we can go out there to Seville and get a draw or maybe even lose by a goal. And that would have been all right. If we had gone 3-0, we had a good chance to go 3-0. It could have been tied up, but we've gone from a potential 3-0 to a 2-2, and that's cost us. Bruno Fernandes is also suspended. So, as you say, on top of all the injuries, having your most creative player suspended, Sabitzer now also potentially injured, it's a huge worry. I think our fullbacks are going to be very, very vital in this game. I think Dalot left back today was a surprise, but it worked very well. I'd like to see that again. De Gea needs to be on top form. And hopefully Seville doesn't swallow us up. I don't hope.
Weghorst is so important. Get Weghorst up front.
No, I think Sancho did well today. I think he's still a million miles away from the player he needs to be. We're really missing a lot of players. We're in trouble. So anything other than top 4 is a bonus for now. I didn't see a few weeks ago, I didn't see any reason why we couldn't go on and win the FA Cup, win the Europa League and secure top 4. But now everything's into question. Taking it a game at a time. I don't know. I'm not too optimistic, but I think we need to secure that top 4 while other teams around us are dropping points. I think that's important. Big week. Villa. What's Villa's running looking like?
We have got. I had the fixtures up.
I know that you've got us, and that is our next home game. Yeah. So we've got 3 away. If you count Wembley as an away game, we've got Seville away, and then we've got Brighton at Wembley, and then we've got Tottenham away, and then our next home game after that's Villa.
So our remaining fixtures that we have is Brentford away, Fulham at home,
Win, win.
United away,
Loss,
Wolves away,
win,
Tottenham at home,
win,
Liverpool away,
loss.
and Brighton at home.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's tough.
Is that the last game? You against Brighton?
Brighton,
Mate,
yeah,
that could
last
be a
game at home.
Europa League scrap as well. That could be win
Literally,
against European
yeah.
football.
Yeah, literally, I'm getting tickets for that game as well. Like I've already said, I'm going to that game.
Wow. Yeah, it's not a bad little run in that. I think, with the exception of United
Yeah.
and Liverpool, and I'm not just saying that, if you're going away to Liverpool, it's a different story. But yeah, I think you've got
It's
genuinely
Anfield,
winnable
not a
games
place
on
to-
your form.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I mean. The push is on. The push is certainly on.
Yeah, so coming up for us and the content, we've got plenty of stuff coming out on the TikTok. We've got another Pretend 11, episode 7, where we're doing combined 11 series on YouTube. If you haven't checked them out already, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Every single time we upload a video, you'll get a direct notification. Episode 7 was Bizarre Transfer 11, so there might be some things to be learnt there. If you know anything about bizarre transfers and big players that have played for strange teams, we've just picked the best and most bizarre transfers and put them into an 11. If you've got any ideas for us, we're always welcoming new ideas for content. The best place that you can put these ideas is in our Discord. We've got a suggestion box channel over there. Links to all of our socials are in the description. So if you haven't checked us out on any of those, drop down there now, give them a click, give us a follow, get in that Discord, invite your friends, tell everyone you like about it. We've just recently made a couple of people VIP members, Ben and Skills in the Discord, for supporting the channel week in, week out, contributing to discussions and giving us good ideas. And we'd love to just have a nice big community that we can talk about football with all day long. Because who doesn't like to talk about football?
True.
That's about it, I think. Same time next week for the pod. As I said, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Look out for that new upload video. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
In the next one.
Hi, guys.